Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of UDS Interviews, our series where we chat to interesting people from around the world. Now, my guest this week is a hardcore punk band that draw on a range of different influences to create a unique sound that'll get you amped up enough to punch through walls and eat the bricks as well. Although neither of these things we can really recommend, just don't do it. Here to talk all about their latest record, it is my pleasure to introduce Scott from arguably the most handsomest band performing today, The End of Everything.
What's said is said. What's done is done. Looking back on the good old days. The good old days weren't all that good. Dead and gone. All of my friends think I'm dead. I'm not cold, I just disappear.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How are you doing in these strange times that we live in?
I'm doing pretty well, hanging in there. Trying to play music and just do what I can with all this time alone.
That's it. That's what it's all about. And so for people that have clicked on this video, they probably will have heard of or have some inkling about the band already, but I wanted to get to know the real you. And to do that, I have to ask the hard-hitting questions. And that is,
Okay.
If you were a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you say best represents you as a person?
Oh, that is hard hitting. Man, type of sandwich. Well, first of all, I'm going to note that I'm vegan, so This is going to be a vegan version, but let's go with a meatball sub. I'm a vegan meatball sub.
Nice. And is that something from, say, like a Subway, or is that something that you would make yourself? Do you have like a signature meatball sub?
No, that would be something my wife makes. My wife is an amazing cook. And she makes me all types of food. And since I'm vegan, she can make anything that's not vegan and make it amazing. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, you sound delicious, so that is a great start to a good friendship. But we should probably talk about music as much as I love talking about sandwiches. So your latest record, Things Are About to Change, dropped just about a month ago, probably just over a month by the time this video drops. What's the reaction been to it so far?
I think it's been pretty good. I think people have liked what I've heard. A lot of my friends have told me that. Sometimes their opinions maybe are a little bit skewed one way, but I think that the opinions that we've heard have been pretty good. We've heard some interesting. Oh, you sound like this, you sound like that. It's always a little different, which I think is kind of cool because we draw on so many influences. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, because I was reading another interview you guys did recently where you all said your individual influences and the bands that you listen to. And it is a really eclectic mix of different things from, the Fugazi, the Goo Goo Dolls, loads of different bands. So do you think that there's a part of all of those that sort of made this record?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think all of us kind of came from slightly different backgrounds. All converged in hardcore, but for me, like I grew up like Duran Duran was one of my favorite bands, and then I kind of transitioned into metal, and then I kind of found punk and hardcore. I think everyone's kind of made that transition from somewhere. So I think we all kind of have kind of different hardcore backgrounds, if you will, because there's so many different variations of what people consider hardcore, and some people might not even consider some hardcore bands hardcore. Are they a metal band? Are they a punk band? So I think we definitely come from different places, and I think that's kind of cool because it gives everything a little bit of a different flavor. So it's not so just one thing. It's not so one dimensional. Hopefully people can kind of hear those different influences and different layers, and it will make it maybe a little bit more interesting.
Absolutely. I mean, variety is the spice of life, as they say.
Yes.
And how much of this record was sort of written and produced during sort of COVID times, or was it started before the current lockdown that everyone's in?
A good chunk of it. Yeah, a good chunk of it was done during, I think we had like maybe one song that we've been kind of toying with. I personally, all I did for in where I live in Las Vegas, we were locked down for like 2.5 months. I have a studio in my house where I'm kind of in now.
Wow.
And I just pretty much played and wrote music like every single day. So like, not only did I write music for this record, me and our singer Joel have like kind of a secret side project. I wrote like an EP for that. I have an emo project that I just decided I wrote a couple songs for that. I wrote like some death metal songs.
Wow.
I just did like a ton of writing. So that was kind of the benefit to Shutdown, was that like I could just spend time in my studio and just play music. So a good chunk of it was written during that time, and it was all recorded during that time. We initially demoed it out. Our drummer has a studio in his house as well, and he records bands. So we're kind of lucky in that sense. So, we were able to separately kind of record things and kind of demo it out, and we liked it. And then we decided just to go ahead and record it. So we recorded everything actually in this room that I'm in.
Nice.
It was all kind of done here. So yeah, it was very kind of DIY. And we have, a friend in Buffalo, New York, who mixed our stuff for us, and he's been a great guy just to work with us and send it off to get mastered. But yeah, all the recording stuff was done here, and majority of the writing was done during that time.
It must be so satisfying when you have sort of that DIY sort of overarching view over everything, rather than sort of perhaps handing it over to other people. Do you feel, the sort of the sense that this is your baby, this is the thing that you've had sort of the oversight of since the start?
Yeah, I definitely do. And, me personally, I write a majority of the music, or mostly all of the music. I I'm not trying not to be too overbearing with everyone else, but, a lot of times, like I'll write the songs, I'll play the guitar, the bass, and I'll program drums and kind of bring it to everyone else, so that it's like kind of a finished product, but then everyone obviously comes in, tweaks things, adds different parts and stuff. So for me specifically, it's definitely my baby. And I've really been pushing to do this band for a long time. Me and Joel have been doing it for off and on for 7 years, just kind of as really low key, but I've really been kind of pushing to really get going. And the label asked, when we kind of at the set of this, do you guys want to do an LP or an EP? And I was like, let's do an LP. I have a million songs, but we kind of decided just to scale back. Let's just kind of knock out a few things, get some stuff out there, and yeah.
Right on. Well, hopefully that means there's more coming soon then, if there's some stuff you had to cut.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we're actually kind of planning on doing maybe a cover album. We're just maybe just a digital only release. Just kind of something that'll be really fun to do. And we can kind of draw more specifically from our influences and kind of show our take on a few things that are pretty cool. So
right on. Is there any sort of, hints of what kind of tracks we might see on the covers record?
Yeah. So a couple hints. We've mentioned one of these bands, or probably both these bands, that are for sure in a couple of interviews. And the name of our band is taken from one of their lyrics. So that one is for sure to be on there. But it's definitely going to be kind of like a 90s hardcore inspired thing, because that's what really, where I know I personally came into my own in hardcore, and Joel as well, and we're just kind of really drawing on that inspiration, because that's kind of, I think, where we kind of see ourselves in the scope of what kind of hardcore we are. We definitely kind of draw on that kind of inspiration the most. So yeah.
Very cool. I suppose, especially not to, I don't want to really get too political, but there's never been a more important time for hardcore music, in my opinion, particularly in America.
Yes, there are some crazy things going on here. And yeah, I mean, I think that we had an interview the other day, and it's kind of similar thing came up. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's there's a time to be pissed off about lots of things, and we're not, whatever that is for you. Hopefully, you can kind of do something similar like what we tried to do, and just turn it into art, and do something good with it. And hopefully, maybe if you have those discussions and have those lyrics, and people think about things, and you can create some change from it. And that's I guess what we can hope from. Try to be optimistic about everything. So absolutely.
You got it's sort of it's turning a negative into a positive without burying your head in the sand. And I think that is the best way to sort of live your life in a way. You should always accentuate the positive, but never ignore, the issues that you're dealing with. And definitely that element of hardcore has always been inspirational. And it's great that, guys like yourself and the band are still championing those principles.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, like you said, hardcore has always been kind of a progressive subculture, if you will, and that's something I think obviously we all liked about it. So hopefully we can kind of return that energy, if you will, and that thought process into that community.
100%. And you mentioned sort of having sort of that top level view over the entire project of this EP. Obviously the digital version has been out for just give or take a month now. But there is also a physical version, particularly a pretty cool looking vinyl coming out as well. How much oversight did you have in terms of like picking the vinyl color and all of the packaging that went into that?
100%. Not me specifically, but me and the rest of the band. We took a lot of control. Like Joel, our singer, did most of like the artwork and the layout stuff. He kind of does that for a living in a roundabout way. And we're kind of perfectionists. So everything from like we talked about for like weeks about what's going to go on the center of the record and what font it should be and what, so everything from the layout of that record is kind of part of a theme. Like on the record, we use some samples and there's that water and there's the water on the cover. And so we kind of, a lot of the things tie into each other, maybe not so obviously. Maybe they're kind of more subtle, but even the colors of the vinyl, there's two different colors kind of draw into lyrics on the record. And the layout we did kind of all of ourselves. The picture on the back was taken from a person who goes to hardcore shows in our community and took this picture a while ago. And I just love this picture of Artie. So I think everything was like definitely very DIY. We had our hands on all of it. And the label was really easy to work with. Ryan was really great about working with us and really helping our true vision come to light. So definitely is very much in our hands.
Very cool, very cool. And we'll put everything that people need to know to pre-order it, get their hands on it in the description below. But you speak of shows, and obviously it goes without saying that no one can tour at the moment, and it sucks and it's terrible. I think I was reading that it's nearly a calendar year since you played your last show to a live audience.
Yeah, it's been, I think, I want to say we played with like Terror at a small club show, which was just a crazy, amazing show. So it's been a long time. And I know myself and the other guys included really anxious to get back out there, and as well as I'm sure everyone else. Like everyone wants to go to a show, see their friends. Who knows when that's going to be? We did like a little live stream thing during quarantine, which was kind of an interesting way to kind of do. I know a lot of bands were trying to do that. We did that kind of at the beginning of it, just to try and give some kind of like cool thing to attend, if you will. But I can't wait to get back to shows. I'm sure you can't wait to get back to some shows.
I'm getting withdrawal symptoms, man. Like I just really need to be down there, but hopefully I'm hoping it'll be this year. I don't think it'll be any time this side of summer, but hopefully sometime. But looking back to better times, have you got any sort of crazy or funny tour stories, either as part of this project or anything else you've done that you could share with the world? And they could be not safe for work. They can be whatever you want. There's no incriminating evidence here.
Definitely some crazy show stories. We had played a show at this VFW hall that we play at kind of regularly, this Veterans Hall. And we're, I guess, kind of maybe notorious for having a lot of gear. I think I can kind of see in the picture, you can kind of see part of our gear here. And we previously had a second guitar player. So we both play with like 3 amps and 2 cabs each. And then we also have bass gear. So we draw like a lot of power. And we drew so much power on this night that we kept shutting the breakers off at the entire venue.
Oh no.
Because we were drawing like literally just so much juice. Which is kind of a crazy story. Didn't make for the best beginning of the set, but I definitely, luckily it was during the beginning. We were able to get things ironed out and continue on with the show. But that was kind of a funny, if you will, occurrence at one of the shows that happened locally. So
I mean, it's not exactly with your style of music that you can just ask everyone to be quiet and play it unplugged. So I guess you just got to do what you got to do. But that is a claim to fame. The band that is too powerful to be contained by circuit breakers.
Exactly. I like that tagline. We might have to use that in the future.
It is yours. It is yours for free. But here at UDS, we don't just talk about music. We talk about the breadth of pop culture. We talk movies, video games, books, everything and more. So with that in mind, if you could have one of your songs featured in anything at all, what would it be?
So we used samples from the movie Memento, which you may have seen. I'm a really big Christopher Nolan fan, and Memento is one of my all-time favorite movies. Just because, the thought process that goes into his filmmaking and the storyline is so like crazy, and like you just got to really pay attention. And I really like that about things where like if you don't pay attention, you're not going to get exactly what's going on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, if we had music, I mean, even just like background music in like a Christopher Nolan movie, that would be really, really cool. I think we all really enjoy him as a filmmaker. And like I said, on this record specifically, we did some samples from Memento, which is one of my favorite movies and one of our favorite movies. So that would be super cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, for no other reason, think of the exposure. Like getting in a Nolan film, you'd be everywhere. But no, that would be cool. The one thing with Momentum though is, and I haven't seen it for a while, so maybe there is a reason, is why didn't he just bring a diary or something like that? Why did he have the tattoo pen the whole time? He could have just had a bedside book or something like that.
Yeah, he definitely had the notes. The cool thing though, about like watching Mementos, like I feel like every time I watch it, I see something different. I'm like, but yeah, it's such a cool movie. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have you seen Tenet yet?
I haven't. A couple of the guys had posted about it, and I haven't seen it. And I've been wanting to watch it for a while yet. So I'm gonna have to see it pretty soon. It's
pretty good. If you like Nolan films, it is peak Nolan. It is amazing set pieces for no other reason than that. But yeah, would recommend. But anyway, I could talk about movies for another hour or no, but I don't want to waste the rest of your time. So obviously no one could really plan for the rest of the year, much like last year. Everything is a lot up in the air. But to the best you can, what does 2021 have in store for you and the band?
So for me, I'm just going to continue writing. I love to sit in my studio and write, and I've been doing that a lot. Can continue to do that. Kind of talked about a little bit ago. We definitely plan on doing this covers EP, which probably just be like a digital thing. We'll just give out for free or whatever. But it was just kind of for fun. So hopefully continue to do that. That should be out. I don't know. We're hoping for maybe a couple months. We're going to do it kind of all DIY in house. So hopefully the production of that should go pretty quickly. But ultimately our hope is that, maybe like you said, end of summer, maybe later this year, we can actually play some shows. I'm dying to like get out of town and play some shows, like go on even just like a weekender, play out with some friends bands, hit up California, somewhere close, just whatever we can do to get out there and just be able to play some shows, see some people, meet some people, get on the road. Being on the road is super fun. It's a good time just to hang out with your dudes and have some fun stories. And definitely that's like would be a super big goal. But EP will come out for sure. That digital one, that covers album should come out. And who knows? Maybe by the end of the year we'll have a whole LP ready to come out. Who knows?
Fingers crossed. And selfishly, if you guys ever make it over to the UK or anywhere around this way, I'd sure enjoy that as well. But hopefully one day we can have a beer and enjoy that.
Yeah, man, if we could get out of the country, that would be rad.
Well, yeah, that is the thing. I mean, I'd like to be able to go 20 miles down the road without being stopped by police, but hopefully one day. But yeah. Yes, absolutely. Well, the last traditional question we ask is, it's a bit out there, but stick with me. And that is, we are UDS, which stands for Upside Down Shark. And don't ask me why we're called Upside Down Shark. It's a name we thought up many moons ago, and we're in way too deep to change it now. But be that as it may, what is your favorite shark? And it could be real, it could be fictional, it could be a shark from a movie or a shark from nature. But what would you say your favorite shark is?
Well, I'm gonna, maybe this is probably everyone's obvious answer. The shark from Jaws. Like, I remember when I was a little kid watching Jaws. We had a pool in our backyard, and I didn't even want to go in the pool, man. Like it's like I was like, anywhere there's water, there can be a shark. So like, I don't even want to go into the pool. So I'm going to say the fear that Jaws shark put into me as a little kid, I'm going with the Jaws shark for sure. I
mean, you can't beat the classics. He's the king of the ocean for a reason. And can't argue with that. Can't argue with a shark that leaves a fear of any open water like that. Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today. Thank you so much for your time with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. We really appreciate it.
Anytime, anytime. And the last question, the last serious question I have to ask you is, until people can meet you at shows and meet you in person again, where can people find you guys online?
So, we have music on, all the major, platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp. The end of everything. If they want to go to War Against Records, they can pick up some of those vinyl we were talking about. We did 2 really cool color variants of vinyl. And we have also a couple t-shirt designs that we did for the new record, which are all really cool. Again, we all did all that stuff ourselves, kind of DIY. So came out pretty cool. So yeah, if you're interested in checking out the band, definitely there's free music out there. If you like it and you want to support us, pick up a record. That's really cool too.
There you have it. There you have it. So for anyone watching at home, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to pick up Things Are About to Change. As I say, I'll put a link to everything you need to know in the description below. And stay tuned for more interviews with creative folk next time, I guess. I'm bad at outros. Bye.